Putting them first was an absolute game changer for how my knees feel when I squat. By doing them first, not only do you prioritize your hamstrings, which is a muscle that a lot of bros neglect, but you also get your knees and soft tissues nice and warmed up for the rest of the workout. You may be surprised at just how much better your squats will feel when your posterior chain is slightly activated going into them. Your glutes will fire better, your knees will track more smoothly, and you should be stronger. So if you've ever had cranky knees during squats, try curling first. Now, why did I pick the lying leg curl over the seated leg curl? Well, most of you have probably heard me talk about this study before, which showed that across 12 weeks, seated leg curls caused 1.6 times more hamstrings growth than lying leg curls, which is true. So let me explain. First, I do lying leg curls on one day of the week, and then seated hamstring curls on my second leg day of the week. Also, research shows that having exercise variety is generally better for developing a muscle more proportionally across all of its heads. And even though this study did show better hamstrings growth with the seated leg curl, there is another big muscle in your legs called the sartorius, and it actually grew better with lying leg curls. And the sartorius is a really important muscle for bodybuilding, especially when you're lean, because it's this vertical muscle that really pops out on your quad poses. And unlike the hamstrings, which are more stretched when you're seated, the sartorius is actually more stretched when you're lying down. Now, the main technique difference that I made this year was doing lengthened partials at the end of every last set. So once I couldn't get the pad all the way up, I kept going with partial reps. This works great because of the strength curve of the hamstrings. You'll find that as you get close to failure, you're still really strong in the bottom half, but you can't get the weight all the way up. So we can leverage that by using partial reps at the end. Now, the biggest mistake I see on these is letting your hips pop up. This will allow your glutes and low back to help you cheat the weight up. So instead, you should think about driving your hips into the pad as you curl. You can also grip the handles harder to help pull yourself into the bench. Remember, you want everything to be as stable as possible here so that all that tension coming from the weight stack is being sent directly into your hamstrings. Okay, this is where the real heavy overloading starts. 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps on the pendulum squat. This was easily my #1 quad builder for my year-long experiment. And of course, it's not just for the quads. Like any squat, it'll also smash the glutes and the adductor muscles of the inner thighs. Now, obviously, not every gym has a pendulum squat machine, so if you don't have one, you can swap it out for another squat variation that you can progressively overload well, like a barbell squat, Smith machine squat, or a hack squat. For barbell squats, you can make them more quad dominant by placing the bar higher on your traps and staying more upright. For Smith machine squats, you can increase the quad emphasis by keeping your feet back underneath you and letting your knees travel forward.